Solo VR shooters. Regardless of whether you have a Quest, PCVR or a PSVR 2, there is a ton to pick from, and not only that, I still genuinely believe it's one of the more immersive things that you can do in virtual reality, and that is pick up a goddamn gun and go and shoot some bad guys in the face. Of course, I'll ask you one small favour before we dive into this video, and that is to smash that like button if you enjoy this video. It does massively help out the channel, and of course, if you're new, subscribe as well. Other than that though, let's dive into our very first game on this list, and that is Metro. This is a story-driven post-apocalyptic FPS packed with stunning visuals, immersive stealth, and hardcore survival elements. On PC, the graphics are friggin' stunning, same with PSVR 2, and honestly, they really even pushed the Quest to really what it can do to make this game look as good as humanly possible on a standalone headset. It's impressively optimized, really just losing none of the atmosphere regardless of what headset you play this on. If you're into immersive storytelling, long campaigns, and gritty gunplay, then Metro is really going to deliver in spades on all of those friggin' things. Not only that, but they've really locked this into the Metro universe, making this feel like a true part of Metro rather than just another one of those ports that's kind of using its name and just hoping that people don't recognize the fact that it's got nothing to do with the rest of the universe. This, on the other hand, just felt perfectly matched to be as one of the games for the Metro franchise, and not only that, but this time you're freaking in it, you're involved in it, and you're living that whole vibe. Next up, we have Defector, and this is one of those games you've probably never heard of, but you absolutely should have in your life at some point. Now, this came out towards the end of PCVR being like the hype beast, and really as standalone started taking off, so people just kind of missed this one and don't speak about it a lot, or you may have even seen a video on it on YouTube, but you just don't know what the game is. Well, today I'm going to tell you all about it. Defector is probably one of the most underrated solo VR shooters. It's basically a James Bond movie packed with high-octane pieces, espionage, car chases, skydiving, shootouts. Really, it's the full works. It's not an open world, but it feels really cinematic when you're in there doing the different missions, and of course just having that fun with that reactive combat and taking out people in a way that just feels like you are the protagonist in this story, you are the badass. Next up, I bring you Synapse, and I put this on the list honestly because so many of you recommended this last time I did a video similar to this that I agree, it had to make a place on this list. This is exclusive to the PSVR 2. Synapse lets you combine firearms with telekinesis powers so that you can tear through your enemies' bases with absolute freaking style. They use the eye tracking in this game to make you feel like an actual freaking god. You feel like you actually have telekinesis because where you look, and then a combination of that and all the haptics and controllers, you can actually grab objects, smash them into people, grab people, smash them into people. It's insane. It's got a minimalist art style, but the fast combat and a fluid and satisfying sort of feeling that comes with the gunplay as well as the telekinesis just really makes this feel like an incredible experience, especially thanks to the haptics and the adaptive triggers of the PSVR 2. It just heightens the entire experience, making it feel amazing. It's a solo roguelike shooter where every run feels, you know, powerful, especially when you get that sort of like flinging your enemies whilst unloading your pistol. It just feels phenomenal and a top-notch experience. The gunplay feels good, the telekinesis feels amazing, so combine those things together. If you're in a PSVR 2, an absolute no-brainer. Next up, we have something that just simply can't be left off this list. Now, initially, this game was a mod, and that is Gunman Contractors. If you're a John Wick fan, then this one's going to be for you. Gunman Contracts is a brutal, stylish mod for HalfLife Alyx. It turns the base game into a full-blown action shooter, and I mean full-blown action shooter. This has got tight level design, incredible animation, and some of the slickest gunplay you'll ever find in virtual reality. Even better, there is a standalone version in the works for Gunman Contractors coming out this year, so no Alyx required. Whether you're going to jump in now and play the mod or wait for its full release, this is an essential game that you need to play at some point in your life. Genuinely cannot wait for this one. It's coming to PCVR, the full game of this. It's sadly not going to be coming to Quest for quite some time, I believe, but I think that they still have a plan of making that possible later in the future, probably just not this year. Next up, again by popular demand, you guys and gals asked for this in droves to be added to this list, and it's easily added, to be honest with you, because it's one of the best games I've personally played. That has to be The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Now, although Chapter 2 definitely definitely has some weaker points around it other than Chapter 1, they still are iconic games that just simply have to be on this list, especially when we're talking about gunplay and an incredible solo experience. Saints and Sinners is just one of the best zombie shooters, full stop. It's one of the best VR games possibly made at this point as well, earning its place right up there with something like HalfLife Alyx. Both chapters are brutal, walker infested, New Orleans, and every single bullet counts. Every single decision counts, and every single backpack slot counts. You've got crafting, survival, and brutal melee, branching off into a bunch of different missions that react to your choices regardless of whether you're playing Chapter 1 or 2. This just feels freaking awesome. I actually really like how good the gunplay feels in this game, as well as honestly the melee feels pretty damn freaking incredible in this game as well. It just works entirely together, but not only that, you have to appreciate every single shot that you're going to take inside of this game because, well, if you run out of ammo in the middle of one of these things, then you're going to have to go there with a blade, and that gets scary real freaking quick when you have a drove of either zombies coming at you or of course people. So really just think about how you're spending your ammo in this game, but that's kind of what makes this unique and the experience just so satisfying to get into over time. Definitely a must-have. I'll be amazed if any of you haven't played this by now, or if this is the first time you've heard of it, but nonetheless, it had to be on the list. Next up, again, an absolutely no-brainer to be on this list, and that is of course, the ton of Resident Evil games that we actually have now, and that branches across both Quest, PSVR 2, and well, I guess even PCVR if you really want to include like mods and stuff like that, but let's just go with the actual full official releases for them for now. I'm not going to be counting these games individually on this list, let's just do it as one full section, but I do want to make you aware that we have so many of them available to you as of right now. Now, as for the Quest, we have Resident Evil 4 that gives you that classic entrance back into that sort of vintage Resident Evil feeling. This is a classic over-the-shoulder, full-on VR overhaul where you have tight controls, fast-paced action, and honestly just a nostalgic hit straight to the veins that makes you just feel like you're stepping back into that universe once again. This is just incredible. I really enjoyed this on the Quest. It's a really top freaking notch experience, really up there in some of the best gaming that you can do on the Quest in my opinion. Over on the PSVR 2 you have Resident Evil Village and of course the RE4 remake. Now of course we just spoke about Resident Evil 4 being on Quest, but this is the remade version of it, bringing those graphics up to the high fidelity level that we've come to expect, and not just that, whoo-wee, it's a real experience to do this in virtual reality. Both are fully playable and terrifyingly immersive. As we all know, Village and RE4 both have some freaking horrific moments inside of them, and when you get to experience those things in virtual reality, regardless whether you've played through this a ton in flat, they just hit freaking different. This gives you a real blockbuster experience as a single player campaign that just feels freaking fresh again. So like I say, regardless whether you've played this a ton in flat or not, do not let that put you off from playing it in VR. It is one hell of an experience, and of course the gunplay just feels freaking awesome, rewarding, and this whole game is just top notch. So make sure you get Resident Evil in your life in some shape or form, regardless of Quest or PSVR 2. Just going to be a great experience. Next up we have Boneworks and Bone Lab. I've again bundled these in together because I don't feel like they deserved separate spots. Let's just bundle this into one, and let's be real. Again, regardless whether you have PCVR or Quest, there is a way to enjoy this type of game. Now, Boneworks and Bone Lab are both physics-based sandbox shooters that reward, well, creativity in the chaos. You're not just shooting, you're climbing, punching, dodging, modding, and fighting fully simulated environments. Bone Lab expands on everything that Boneworks brought beforehand, and of course it just adds even better news because it's got Quest support over the fact that Boneworks doesn't. Although I will say Boneworks is coming to Quest this year, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We're also going to be getting a full-on port to the Quest for Boneworks. While there is a ton of lore in the campaign for this, of course the real freedom comes from the fact that it's a sandbox game, allowing you to use all of the dope-ass weapons that they have inside of this just to go absolutely ham, and I feel like that's where the real fun is in this, when you get to get creative and just lose yourself in the absolute madness that you can set up, especially through modding in Boneworks or in Bone Lab. Next up, of course, no list would be complete without this, and I'm sure a bunch of you have been expecting to see this already, and that of course is HalfLife Alyx. This, of course, the definitive virtual reality game that we all look up to as, well, a standard that we want to see across all VR shooters moving forward, or story-based games, or any game should really take note of something from HalfLife Alyx. You already know this one, of course. Like I've just said, this is HalfLife Alyx, and it remains the gold standard of VR shooters. It's not just the gunplay, the world building, voice acting, level design, the little tiny details, the gritty bits of information that you're picking up from just being in this world. Everything just feels alive. Even years later, this just stays fresh, and it feels fresh to dive back into each and every single time you experience this. Of course, you know, as we spoke about before, not only that, there's a ton of interesting mods for this, like Gunman Contractors I mentioned before, but even just a base game, if you have a VR ready PC, this is a must have. Invest, buy this game and experience it, and then understand why everyone is always going on about it. Next up, we have another bundle here that is Arizona Sunshine 1 and 2. Now, Arizona Sunshine 1 last year got a remake done for it as well, bringing it to the graphical standards of the second game and really just revamping and upping, making this game visually stunning as well as mechanically bringing it in line again with the second game. The first game is an absolutely brilliant experience. Again, like I say, make sure you get the revamped version of this because it looks stunning. The second game also adds a dog companion, Buddy, that you can have some fun with along your way. Buddy is awesome, trust me, it's a big part of the story and it's very, very fun. This is like a really light-hearted version of Saints and Sinners, but packed with intense firefights, zombie slaying, and of course a great sense of humour throughout the entire thing. This is a really funny game that will have you chuckling repeatedly, as well as the fact that it has incredibly intense scenes smashed into that as well. It's just a great all-round experience. If you want a zombie shooter, this is really high up there in my list of you must experience. And last but not least, we also leave this on another twofer. This is Into the Radius. I bloody love this universe, but of course we don't just have Into the Radius 1 anymore now, we have Into the Radius 2 as well, and that's actually a multiplayer game, so a double win-win-win if you want to get in with some friends as well. And finally, of course, like I just said, we're talking about Into the Radius. This game feels like Stalker, except for in VR. Both titles offer a long-form campaign filled with scavenging, realistic gun mechanics, and I mean probably the most realistic gun mechanics, a nightmare frickin' scenario where you're getting in there to fight a bunch of anomalies, and really it just keeps you on your toes, freaked out the entire time, and really just immersive to the max. This really does deep dive you into immersion and just give you that full-on experience of what it's like to be inside of this world. Into Radius 2 builds on everything from the first game with newer missions, newer enemies, and just really a better system all round. They've really upped the world and of course what the game can be done for. It's quiet, creepy, unforgiving, and if you love that slow burn of a tactical FPS, this really is a must play. Well, there you have it guys, that is 10 of the best solo VR FPS shooters that I can think of. Of course though, some of you guys are going to be shouting at the screen saying, you missed this game! Well, if I did, let me know in the comments down below, share it with everyone else so that no one misses out on those experiences, and of course, let me know as well, what is your favourite game on this list so far? Don't just say HalfLife Alyx, I want to know like what your gritty favourite is. Say, if it is Half-Life, then say Half-Life, and then what your favourite game is elsewhere is on this list. Other than that guys, thank you so much for watching this. If you did enjoy, please do consider smashing that subscribe button, massively helps. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, take care, bye.